this edition of Nonstop Tech. I am your host, Doc.
I'm Jerome.
I'm Tim.
All right, today we're going to talk to you a little bit about tech. We answered a couple of emails if you have questions to go through, but big story today, Instagram acquired by Facebook for billions of dollars.
No, there's just 1 billion.
Yeah, you just still got to do the finger.
So billions of
$1 billion.
Billion.
All right, sorry, what do you think about Instaface or Graham the Book? Instabook. What do you think? What you got, Jerome?
I guess we'll see what happens.
Oh, he pulled the "we'll see" card.
We'll see.
That's very logical.
All right, this is very logical. I think it's a good idea. I mean, you know, a lot of people are kind of freaked out. Are they going to change anything? Are they going to do anything? I don't think they'll change it. Kevin and Mike posted on their blog, Instagram guys, that they're not going to really change it. You got to think a company just under 2 years old, put out a decent product, and they're getting acquired for $1 billion within 500 and some odd
551 days.
551.
Around 200. It's $1,881,000 per day they made. Just going to work, which is amazing.
That's actually pretty good. I mean, that's called going to work and getting it done. So I think the thing that's cool is to know that if you're a startup and you make good stuff, there's an opportunity. It's not over yet. We were talking this morning on Serial Mondays, sponsored by Medical. Thank you, Medical. We were talking this morning on Serial Mondays that the internet as we know it right now is just turning adolescent. Like it's just about to be 18 years old. The internet's not old enough to buy a beer yet, and it seems like we've been here a while.
Yeah, so much has changed.
Feels like it's been here forever.
And I think we barely even scratched the surface of what it can do. There's still billions of people yet not even using the net. There's still a lot of companies still don't have a website. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity.
You have a lot of companies with Flash websites, which one could argue aren't even websites.
You're not supposed to say that. Anyway, restaurant industry, his name is Tim Chat. And bands. You guys are killing us with the Flash. Anyway, I think the thing to note is that there's still a lot of opportunity. And proof is, when you make a good product, you do run a chance of getting bought, which is actually a good thing. Instagram came out, 20 some odd followers came out. Instagram didn't try to change anything, didn't get adjusted, didn't even get offended at all the copycats.
Yep.
Stuck to their gun. They grew slowly and precisely, very methodologically.
With a method.
With the method.
Yes.
Thank you, Tim. And here we are. We're talking about Instagram getting bought by Facebook. So.
And the cool thing is, people are freaking out, but they shouldn't freak out because Instagram, they haven't made money for 2 years. So now, you know, they've got some stability. And if their venture capitalists decide, hey, you're not making money, it doesn't look like you'll ever make money, get tired of Instagram, that doesn't matter anymore because Facebook's not going anywhere. So that means Instagram's not going anywhere. So it's pretty sweet.
So I think, all in all, it's a really good deal. I think that there is still hope out there for those who are doing startups and creating cool stuff. We work in an incubator hub. We generate new stuff all the time. So it's great inspiration for those guys. Cats who are always coming up with good ideas. There's an opportunity that if you make good stuff and you tell people about it, you just might win.
That's the biggest thing. Don't stay quiet. If you have a good idea,
you gotta
get
share
your friends together, make it.
Yeah, that's the better thing. I think that there are a bunch of really good ideas out there that aren't even being done right now because people are sitting on it, and they're sitting on it for really silly reasons. Someone thinks someone's going to steal your idea. Yes, they're going to steal your idea. Get over it. It happens. You can buy these Nikes with 2 Ks and an E in Chinatown in any city in this country, but they're not the same. So you can buy a Rolex with 3 Ls.
It's just like people knocking off the Vibrams, you know? They're crappy, these knockoffs. That's why Vibrams...
The real ones are crappy.
No, they're amazing. But, you know, the knockoffs aren't as good. And it's all implementation.
See, he likes to have his feet look like where the wild things are. Yo, I don't get down like that.
Well, you know, it's all implementation. So if you have a great idea...
If you have a great idea... As a matter of fact, when you get copied, that's almost validation.
Yep.
I think Instagram wouldn't necessarily be where Instagram is if it wasn't for validation. Path came out recently. Actually, they came out before Instagram. They did nothing. Instagram came out, made it good. Path went back and reset, but they came back with funding, and they groundswelled really quick and disappeared into the ether.
Well, the amazing thing about Instagram is they've only had 2 big updates for the iPhone. They had one update that added some filters, things like that, and then they had actually the first update was just hashtags. Then the next big update was like filters, and then they had some other things with that. But basically, just 2 little updates of the course of their life, and that's $1 billion. They had a
because they stayed focused on what they
stayed focused. Yeah,
they didn't let everyone sent in their things about one needs this and needs that and needs this and needs that, and that's hard to do as a business. Sometimes it's hard to listen to your customers and stick to your guns because it's very easy to get distracted and try to give everything what everybody wants, and you sort of dilute your product, things like that. They stuck to their guns. They believed in their original mission. And they said we'll do Android when it's ready.
Yeah.
They got that ready. As soon as they dropped the Android app, a couple days later, boom. Zuck gives them a call. He's like, yo.
I mean, the cool thing with Instagram, just like Facebook never goes down. Instagram never goes down. That's big, you know.
When you think they have like 3 billion photos, and it's never down. It's been down once that I can remember in 2 years, and it was only for a couple of hours. And knowing where we are in the time zone world, it was off for a couple of hours and right back up. So it may have been totally scheduled maintenance. So you got to give them credit for making a product that totally works.
Yeah, Twitter goes down. That's just text. I mean, come on. I mean, you can do text. It's easy.
Well, maybe that's what they're doing. They're working instead of just only working on the app. They're working on the actual infrastructure.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you got to make the infrastructure solid first, and then you can move on. So, anything negative you see coming out of this?
They have money. No.
Yeah.
They're made.
Nothing negative. It's cool that they...
I know a lot of people are freaked out. It's like, oh my God, Facebook has it. Facebook's going to run. They both already said that they're going to run autonomously.
Yeah.
It's going to sort of be like Lexus and Toyota or Infiniti and Nissan.
Disney and Pixar.
Or Disney Pixar.
Yeah.
They're together and they're not. You know, it's still separate. So,
peanut butter jelly?
No.
Peanut butter jelly is awesome.
Same thing. It's together with peanut jelly.
Well, unless you get a Goober.
They're working together.
Unless you get a Goober.
Then it's combined.
No.
But some of those are...
Goobers are the bomb. Okay, anyway, no more talking about peanut butter and jelly. It's peanut butter jelly time. We can't sing that. We might get sued.
Oh,
copyright.
What you did.
I don't think our pitch is good enough to match that.
All right,
getting sued.
I don't know. My pitch is perfect.
All right.
All right. So, what else is going on in the old tech? Android for Instagram. Since we're talking about it.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. It works. I have run across. I was going to say seen, saw, felt, seen, whatever. Run across a lot of posts online comparing Instagram for Android versus Instagram for iPhone. Not a fair comparison, people, so stop it.
Different lenses, different...
Too many variables.
So many different variables, yeah.
You have 1 of 4 iPhones to choose from. Most of them are talking about the 4S, so we can ignore the other 2. But there's like 28 to 30 Android possibilities. Wait, was that a show of yours, Android possibilities?
No, I never did that, but it demonstrates that, Apple recently has made some pretty awesome cameras, and Android... You get a mixed bag, so you get some good ones, some bad ones, and the software overall is less refined, I think, for camera taking. Like, I've got an Nexus S ice cream sandwich on it. That's the latest Google operating system with no overlays to make it ugly or anything. There's no tap to focus. Like on an iPhone, you can tap the screen and it focuses the camera. So when I did Instagram for Android with the Nexus S, it focuses on whatever it wants to focus on, so you have less control over what the end result's going to be. So that's something I noticed.
Well, but see, and again, like I said, there's too many variables because you might find on a different Android phone, tap to focus might work perfectly.
Yeah.
Up until now, the Android phones have always had somewhat of a substandard camera in comparison to the iPhone. But again, it's because of versions of the operating system, so many manufacturers, so many different variables. So, still unfair, but what I will give them credit for is in basically 4 or 5 days, they've updated the software 4 times. So they're working very rapidly to bring at least the software to parity. The hardware is always going to be different. Just because of different methodology. So cool news is, great tool for sharing. It's maybe the one app that I use every day religiously no matter what, without even trying. Like I'm not picking up my phone just to Instagram stuff for no reason. Hipster's a different app.
That's hipster.
I just use Instagram to use Instagram. Hipster is an actual Android app that was the Instagram complement. So Google it before you talk smack. Anyway, very cool. I love it. Matter of fact, I might have it on my phone because I think there is an iPhone version. Anyway, very cool for the Android people, and I'm glad to finally see them in because otherwise we don't have to hear people crying about why.
Now the Windows Phone 7 guys are going to start putting up a fuss. The 5,000 people.
I think the thing for Windows Phone 7 is Windows Phone 7 itself has to get good first look.
It's a
See
baby.
that? Hipster.
Yeah, I know. I got it.
Yeah. Windows Phone 7 itself
it's
has to get better.
It's a toddler, right? It's a toddler.
It is a toddler,
Yeah.
but no, I'm going to call it an adolescent. I'm going to tell you why.
Oh, okay.
Because although it's relatively new, it had the experience of its forefathers not to make some of the same mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
So they got sort of a head start by coming in last. Recently this week, both Joshua Chapowski, I like to call J-Top, and John Gruber, both said, which was kind of funny because they don't normally agree, but they agree 100%, we as the blogosphere have got to stop giving Windows 7 a pass for being a baby because they have enough information not to make some of these mistakes.
And just like an adolescent, they don't listen to their parents and they do their
Run around
own
crazy, right?
wild thing.
You should know because I haven't been an adolescent for quite a long time. But, so it is good and it's going to get better. It is relatively new, so you want to give it some leeway, but it doesn't deserve total leeway because it's old enough to know better. So that's an important thing to know. All right, what's your app pick for the week?
You know, I'm actually gonna do a game this time. So
That's
I
not
game.
surprising.
I know.
You do a game? Oh God, why don't you just stretch? Should I get a guitar? Where's LeBlanc when we need him?
We got the guitar behind me.
I don't know how to
Let's
play.
pick it up. Oh my god. So it's called Waking Mars. It's by the I forgot. I think it's Tiger Style is the company who makes it. They made another pretty cool game called Spider.
Tiger style?
Yeah.
Like in the Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
Awesome.
But so what this is about, if you want a shooting kind of crazy action game, this isn't it. This one is you actually astronaut on Mars and you're in a cave and you actually discover like life, and then you actually kind of go down, you take the seeds, and you're pretty much bringing the planet back to life. It's kind of cool. Has a pretty cool backstory. The art's amazing. I'd recommend just check out the screenshots. I'll do it justice. So if you can see like a high definition recording of the game, check it out. It's pretty cool. If you're used to Metroid, I think that's the best way to compare it.
He said Metroid.
Heck yeah. Well, it's good stuff, man.
Alrighty. Alright, Tim, what you got?
I've got the wonderful Avid Studio for iPad. It came out a while ago, and it's an alternative to iMovie for the iPad. And I wanted to do a lot of things I do in Final Cut Pro 10 on my iPad. They get my case because I say X sometimes, and I like X because it's...
Is it Mac OS X?
Don't say
you like X on the show. I do not want the FBI to come up
All
here.
right, back to the app at hand.
eyes.
Back to the app at hand. Avid Studio. So why I like this is in iMovie, I try to add some bumpers and things to open and close my video with, and it's really difficult to add that. You have to, add it to your camera roll through some jerry-rigged magical voodoo. Versus Avid, where it'll just scan your entire iPad. Doesn't matter if it's a TV show or a camera shot, it'll add it to your project. It's also much better with doing side-by-sides. You can actually do 4 video streams at a time with Avid on the iPad, which is remarkable. It's a really well-done app, and same price as iMovie, $5. So if you're looking for a little bit step up for iMovie, I'd give it a shot.
We should measure stuff in the cost of coffee, so it's like a little less than the coffee.
Well, depends where you get it.
$5 is a little less than
No, it's one coffee fetch.
$6.
Oh, yeah. I see. Try to throw in the coffee fetch announcement while Derry's over there at the printer 5 feet away. Tim thinks he's getting free coffee.
Fetch.
No free coffee, Derek. We will say big ups to Coffee Fetch launch today. Thank you, Mr. Derek. And also thank you, Derek, for allowing me to steal your Android to play Instagram with Android. So if you guys want to bother Derek, it's at DSGHI on the Twitters. And at Coffee Fetch on the Twitters. Anyway, my app for today, after that free commercial for Derek Gabriel, my app for today is an app called Paper, made by a company called 53, and it's awesome because it's the first app, finally, for the iPad that actually draws and feels like actual paper. And I think the thing that's hard for most people as you pick up something like this in the stylus is getting used to how it's not exactly like paper. The stylus that I'm using so far is the Cosmonaut and the Jot Pro. I kind of switch back and forth. And I like it because it really does feel like paper. I like another new thing that they're doing is the undos are handled by rotating your fingers like such. And that does is a rewind, so it takes you back a bunch of steps at one time, and you can go both directions and pull it in.
It's like a movie of your drawing.
Yeah, pull it in, take it out. It's almost like the old VCR thing. The interface is amazing. Now the other thing is, it comes with a standard like fountain pen type drawing tool, but you can also get a sketcher, an outliner, a writer, and a I think the highlighter one is what it's called. Mm-hmm. and they all are beautiful. I mean, absolutely beautiful. If there are any knocks, it's a limited color palette, but the idea is this is for idea generation. You're not necessarily supposed to sit there and try to paint a Picasso or a masterpiece with it. But I love the way you can make new notebooks, and I love the fact that you can add a photo or something else to the notebook in order to give it out. I've done a full walkthrough on YouTube, and I'll put the link into the video down there at the bottom. But I love paper. It's totally free. The new model they did is you can buy the independent tools for $2 a pop. So if you want the sketch tool, outline, highlighter, you can, or the writer, you can pick those up for $2 a pop, or you can just pay $8 to unlock the whole app, which I did because it was worth it. I want to see these guys make it.
Before you complain about it, for all the actual tools that are available in this app and just the quality of it, $8 is, I mean, just $8 is nothing.
No, when the iPad came out,
I bought everything.
2010 iPad came out, I bought like at least $30 worth of drawing apps because they're priced at like $10 a pop.
Yep, and it was crazy. You just kept buying them and trying them and buying them and trying. It was borderline ridiculous. Like it was kind of crazy.
And then you look at your receipts, like, really? I did that much money?
I did that with drawing apps, and Jerome and I famously did it with
text.
word processor and text editor.
Let's still do that,
every single one.
I still buy the new ones. I'm gonna try this.
No, but it's really great. You can sketch out logos. You can do outlines. You can do type of diagrams. One thing it does, its sharing support is pretty good. So you can share things out, which I think is awesome. You can send it to Facebook, Twitter, or email, Tumblr. I just think it's a great app, honestly.
I agree.
And one thing that's cool, if you want to try out one of the other tools before you buy it, you can demo it.
Did you see the delete page? Actual?
Yes, you can delete individual pages.
No, just the cool thing where it crumples up. I didn't know that.
It's a fast crumple.
It's a very cool thing.
Oh my god.
Well, it depends. When you're really mad, when you're sketching. Yeah.
Well, if they're on the fire, it'd be great if you throw it someplace.
All right, so those were our app reviews for today. Any questions, comments, or feedback, you can send them to us at Nonstop Tech, either Doc at Nonstop Tech or Jerome at Nonstop Tech.
There's Tim as well.
And there's Tim at Nonstop Tech. One more thing I want to talk to you guys about. Check out Tracky app. That's at tracky.com. Super, super awesome if you're into sort of project management, or it's a great sort of to-do manager, list manager. It's totally social. It's super hard to explain. I'm going to get those guys on and do a full-on review with them, but just go check it out. It's totally free for right now, but it's amazing. It's like a cross between Basecamp and Twitter. I'll let you figure it out. It's badass. Go check out Tracky. Not sponsoring anything yet, but we just love it because there's an app sort of started here at the Greenhouse, so we got to give it up to their team and for doing great work.
It's good stuff to keep us organized.
How can we find you, Tim?
You can find me on Twitter at TCHATEN. Same username for YouTube, so TCHATEN. And then I do this daily morning news show all about Apple. It's found at iwakepodcast.com.
Okay, Jerome, stop playing with paper and tell them
good stuff. You can find me at Jerome Kohler. So I spelled it out for you, but it'll be in the show notes. So just check out the show notes. And that's the same thing in YouTube, Jerome Kohler, JeromeKohler.com, and at Jerome Kohler.
Because his last name's so weird, so you have to look.
Make sure you that's
get it right.
weird.
It's kind of like the toilet.
Learn German.
A little bit, yeah.
Is the toilet spelled named the same way? I'm joking. I know it's only
that joke's getting old, by the way.
Jerome Toilet. Kohler. Anyway, you can find me at Doc Rock on Twitter, and my YouTube page is at DocRock808, and of course on the blog, MrDocRock.com. That's MrDocRock. Again, all in the show notes. Once again, questions, comments, or feedback. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the like button. Find us on the YouTubes.
He's gonna vote him.
Yeah. What?
He said yeah.
That was a joke for Kyle. She'll get it. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you again next week. Aloha. Dude, paper's the money.
Sweet.
That's cool. I like it.
It's the business. Look, he's laughing at us.
Do it.